Continuing today with the chapter 19, Mary, and we stopped yesterday at verse number 61. And Allah basically is telling us and telling the believers and telling that their reward for the people who will abstain, restrict themselves from the temptations of this life, and they will follow a straight path. They will follow the guidance of these prophets, which you've mentioned yesterday, these messengers, which we mentioned yesterday. They will follow their guidance, they will follow their way. These people will receive, at the end, they will receive the paradise, everlasting paradise. They will live there forever, and there will get what God have promised them. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just mentioning in verse number 62 what's going to happen there. لا يسمعون فيها لغوا. Indeed, they will not hear any idle or any useless talk. Like any talk which is basically threatening talk, useless talk, things which you waste of time, anything like that. إلا سلاما. Indeed, they will hear peace. So it will be a peaceful environment where at this place, there will be peaceful, because these people, remember, when somebody's trying to abstain, when somebody's trying to preach the words of Allah, the words of God, the straight path, what you're supposed to do, what is everybody's trying to attack this person or making lies against this person, so on and so forth. And at that time, what will happen is these people will receive persecution. And this is exactly what happened to all the prophets since day one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَلَهُمْ رِزْقُهُمْ فِيهَا بُكْرَةً وَعَشِيًّا. Indeed, He, Allah, will recompensate them. Will recompensate them by giving them everything they will think about, everything which you will desire. Morning, evening, every day. Throughout the whole day and every day. They will never, of course, they will never die in the paradise. They will never have any illness. They will never gonna age. They will never gonna have any problems. It's basically in the paradise. This is the ideal form of a human being to be in, the best form ever. تلك الجنة التي نورث من عبادنا من كان تقيا. Verse 63. This is the paradise which we'll give to those who are from our slaves. Remember, he mentioned the word ibadina means what? The slaves means people who follow. A slave follow the orders of his master. He knows that his master, and we have a master, our Lord God, Allah, is the one who is worthy. He's the one who is Hakim, who has wisdom behind everything He does or asks us to do. So those people who indeed those who were pious, these who have fear, these people who were, the word taqiyya means they have conscious of God. These people who were all the time try to reflect on their actions, try to improve in their action, try to see what wrong they were doing, and try to abstain, and to try to change, and try to every day they're doing the effort to change the lives to the better, to make God so pleasing God. So there are and put shield, putting shield, get away from sins. Not going into the places where sins are committed, where sins are something normal. So you try to avoid that. You try to get out of those places. You try not to, even with the people the company, which will let you fall into sin. So you have to, abstain. You have to get away from them. That's why very important to have righteous friends, which will lead you to the right direction. وما وما ننزل إلا بأمر ربك له ما بين أيدينا وما خلفنا وما بين ذلك وما كان ربك نسيا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah, this is basically the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, he was talking to Jibreel alayhi salam and talking to him and said, "Oh, okay, Jibreel, why you don't come so often? Visit me so often, give me instructions so often, so on and so forth." So Jibreel is telling him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the malaika, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is revealing that the malaika, the angels, only come with the permission of the Creator, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. له ما بين أيدينا. He is the one who he knows the past, what we have done in the past. وما خلفنا, or the ما بين أيدينا maybe the future. وما خلفنا, the past. And وما بين ذلك, which is the present. He knows everything about us, what we have done, what we're doing, and what we will be doing. وَمَا كَانَ رَبُّكَ نَسِيًّا. And our Lord, He never forget. Our Lord, He never forget anything. رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما فاعبده واصطبر لعبادته. Indeed, the Lord have made a turn here, is showing us why we should worship Him, why we have to go to Him all the time. He said, Rabbu Samawa, He's the creator of the heavens and the earth and whatever in between. فَاعْبُدْهُ وَاسْطَبِرْ. Worship Him. Be a humble. Be a slave. Why? When He's mentioning, remember, when He's mentioning the heavens and the earth, these are tools. These are tools which He can at any time use them as for punishment. Also, He can use them for warning, so we can get back on track. We can get back to God. We can go back to Allah. So He's asking, fear though, these are just a very huge creation of God. فَاعْبُدْهُ. Worship Him. وَاصْطَبِرْ لِعِبَادِهِ. And be patient. Because remember, this is a test. There will be all the time a devil from the devils or people from the humans who are against a worshipper, who are against somebody who want to follow God's rule, somebody who is trying to ask people to enjoy, order people to do good, enjoying good, forbid evil. Somebody there will be a lot of people who are trying to become His enemy. And that is why we see throughout the whole history that these prophets, these messengers, a lot of them being killed. And for example, you have Yahya, John, you have so many of them. They've been attacked. So many of them because they are worshipping. So God is saying, be patient. Follow the course of action. Do what you're supposed to do. Worship me, because even that worship, when you worship God, that will give you the strength. And that strength will let you be able to overcome any adversity, any attacking anything which will be coming towards you with worshiping and depending on God. He is the one who will defend you. هل تعلم له سميا? Do you know anybody? This is the question. Do you know anybody has the same attributes like the Lord, like the Creator? Do you know anybody is perfect? Do you know anybody who has complete characteristics? Do you know anybody who can control everything and anything? Do you know anybody who knows every detail about anything? Do you know anybody who is able to create all this universe? No. This is the question. That's why God is not compelling us to worship Him. No. He wants us to choose. He wants us to make the choice to worship Him. Why? Because He's worthy of that worship. ويقول الإنسان وإذا مت لسوف أخرج حيا. And God here is bringing a very important and why people are losing the ability to do the righteous deed, to be humble, to be righteous, to be kind, to be gentle, because they don't believe in accountability and they don't believe that they will come before God in the hereafter. So the human, he doesn't think. And that's really what the devil is trying to make the human forget. With these temptations, with this noise around the person, with this life matters, until the person finds himself is 70, 80, 90 years old, then he's died. And he didn't really understood that he's here for a test, that he's here for a mission. And that's basically, again, the root of all evil, is you don't understand and you don't believe that there is accountability. For example, you see somebody who, for example, cheating in taxes a year after year, a year after year, a year after year. He thinks, oh, nobody will catch me. And that's a big mistake. Because at one day, there's going to be accountability. At one day, they can come and get everything. So imagine about the Creator of the heaven and earth. He knows what we have done, what we're doing, and what we will be doing. He has access to all our files. He has access to all our, everything we say, everything we do, in public or in secret. So He knows. So if the human understood that fact, and he understood that he's under surveillance all the time, he will act righteously. أولا يذكر الإنسان أنا خلقناه من قبل ولم يك شيئا. Allah has given us here is just a very small analogy. He's telling us, look at the human. You don't think we will bring you back? Look, I created you from nothing. So it's a replication. I will bring you back again because it will be harder to start something from scratch. But replication of something is easy. You see a manufacturer, for example, a car manufacturer, when he does one design, one car, he'll able to replicate. Doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time. And you'll see maybe hundreds, thousands, millions of the same car. This is what God is really telling us here. I created you from even, I already did the first model or the first human. It's not hard for me to bring everybody back. Do them the same way I created Adam from nothing. I create everybody again the same way. I have his DNA. I have his genetics. I'll bring you back same way you died. You died here. I'll bring you back exactly because I carry all the material. He knows everything. فوربك لنحشرنهم والشياطين ثم لنحضرنهم حول جهنم جثيا. Allah is saying, indeed, we will gather them. We will collect them all and the devils. And we will bring them around or in the hell, jithiya, on their knees. Complete submission. Complete inability to do any resistance. And let's just contemplate here and think about this verse. God is saying that these people will reject, that there will be accountability. These people will not gonna work for that day. These people who will say, oh, this is the life and that's it. He will gather them, bring them with the devils. Why the devils? Because the devils they conspire. When somebody killed somebody, for example, okay, he conspired with somebody else, they bring both together. The person who conspired and the person who asked that person to do the action, everybody would bring it together. So the devil were the reason for these people they followed the devil. So God will bring all of them in hell. And then the other way, submission. These people who will get this punishment, they refused to submit to the Lord in this life. They refused to follow the prophets, the messengers. They refused and denied to follow the commandments of the Lord. They tried, and the devils helped them by manipulate the truth. Okay, so say, oh, this is no murder. Torturing people, killing people, it's no murder. Starving people, taking away their food, taking away their water, it is okay. Manipulating the truth, selling arms, selling weapons, selling, destroying the planet, killing innocents. It's okay. It's fine. This is what the devil changed the truth around you. So you were following the devil. You weren't submitting to God. You were rebellious. So God has said, okay, you'll see in the hereafter. I'll bring you on your knees. Complete submission. You cannot even do anything. ثم لننزعن من كل شيعة أيهم أشد على الرحمن عتيا. Indeed, we will bring the most rebellious among them, the ones who were the head. Each group, each nation, each deniers, each group who are spreading falsehood, spreading injustice, spreading misguidance, they have a leader, most rebellious guy. God is saying, I will bring this guy first, because they were following him. And who, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, who can stand at that day in front or before God? Who at that day can showing any resistance? when it comes to God. Of course, nobody. ثم لنحن أعلم بالذين هم أولى بها صليا. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is recording. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have his own video surveillance on this earth. He sees, he's aware of everything. You think he doesn't see, but he sees everything. And he knows who's doing good, who's doing bad, who's asking for bloodshed, and who is trying to save lives, who's asking people to do good, and who is asking people to be misguided. This is what's God. He knows. And he knows who's going to be in the hellfire. وَإِنَّ مِنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. Indeed, each of you, means a believer and non-believer, somebody who did good and he didn't good, he will see. That means the believers and the non-believers. Of course, the non-believers will go inside the hell, but the believers will see, will pass by the hellfire to look at it while on their way to the Jannah. And why Allah did this? Allah did this to tell them that this is the destination of the wrongdoers. And this is, and you to also see the mercy of God upon the believer. And you are not gonna appreciate what you have as a human, or what you get, or in the paradise, unless you see what's happening to the deniers, what is happening to the disbelievers. And from there you will appreciate God more and more. And you'll see that you were one or among the successfuls. You are among the winners. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying. ثم ننجي الذين اتقوا ونذر الظالمين فيها جثيا. Everybody will pass. The wrongdoers will stay in hell. The believers will pass. And what is the word God is saying here for the believer? What is the reason for them being or past? Is taqwa. Taqwa is God consciousness. Taqwa is God fear. It is, for asking people to go good, forbidding evil, having a big distance between you and the sin, not going close to the places where sins are being committed, not indulging in sin, not asking people to do sin, not facilitating the sin. Those people, they have taqwa, they have fear, they have consciousness of God. That's why God protected them. وَنَذَرُ الظَّالِمِينَ فِيهَا جِثِيًّا. Indeed, the wrongdoers, the unjust people will face, they will come on their knees. Complete submission to the Lord. Because at that point, you don't have the power. You don't have the army. You don't have the weapons you were depending on. Now, everything became clear. It will become clear. And you'll see the upper hand. Who has the upper hand at that time? So all these wrongdoers will be thrown in an everlasting punishment in hell. أقول قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.